السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Education and a good education. What a centuries-old problem. Who has kids here? Perfect, perfect. What do you want from education? So just give me some answers. Now you have your kids in school. You pay for that sometimes. You outsource this function. What do you want? Can somebody just tell me what do you want from school for you to be satisfied? Come on, you must want something. Critical thinking, excellent. Come on, you can WhatsApp your wife. You know, she probably knows. Discipline, good math, performance in science, languages. You want them not to be bullied. You want your kid to be discovered what giftedness he has. Every day, we're demanding so much from education. So much that I believe that if you sit on a dinner table with a teacher, you sort of start getting ready to basically blame him for everything else you want. It's becoming such a hindrance for teacher to progress. But reality is, there is a limit to how much time kids spend at school, right? Kids actually spend at school 15% of their time. 53% of their time, kids are not at school. And all parents, including myself, are demanding that schools give us a lot of things that we could otherwise give to our kids in the community. Schools are such an enclosed system. How many here are engineers that have interest to help their community, right? Do you have a chance to go help the teacher at your school? Do you have a chance to help the kids next door? Such an enclosed system, right? A lot of us here are willing to give in something, but really the best we can give is appear in the annual meeting for parents and hope that our kids have not done anything bad. It just goes down to that, right? And I feel really sorry for how in this 15% we want top curriculum, best teachers, high score, tons of skills, and on. Teachers are becoming intimidated by a system they can't control. I know what is the funniest thing that we expect now from schools, and I think Tiba, is it Tiba or Tiba? With it, both, right? So basically, look at her career, right? It is funny that there are people with high degrees and high positions in this country, being Saudi Arabia or other countries, that actually want a school to graduate a professionally functioning kid when it goes to the workplace. So you want to get a kid through a system of 12 years and end him up with the right skills to fit the industry. What sort of industry? Can you tell me what the industry is going to look like after 5 years? I mean, if we've done that, we probably should have our kids, be good at typing. I mean, what training in school could have prepared Tiba to survive this ever searching for passion? I think there are actually people who are trying to map an education system for a country to graduate people fit for the industry. Even the industry is blaming and getting ready to blame a teacher for not getting them the bottom line profit. Such a loaded system with challenges. So that problem hasn't changed much since we started Talents, شركة المواهب الوطنية, a while back in 2007. Engineering is fun, science is fun, discovery is fun, inquisitiveness, critical thinking, challenges, robotics is fun. So why can't we do this outside schools? Why can't we create a venue that brings everybody together to work in the 53%? We know that informal learning matters. How many of you here has been in a good field trip when you were young? So a doctor, so a person who's working in Pepsi, because that was a common field trip. My son has just returned last night from a trip to Sri Lanka, and he's 11 years old. I mean, I don't know, at our time, would go to Pepsi factory, and that was like the whole world, coming from Sri Lanka at 11 years old. These moments you had that helped you discover a dream, you saw yourself standing there in the factory worker place, or the manager, or the doctor. These were informal learning moments, freed up with free choice learning. You choose to learn what you want to learn from a visit lil bar, or going to the garden or the backyard. There are such opportunities, but parents and others should be courageous enough to use it. So we found an opportunity here. We started creating informal learning settings. It started with robotics competitions, right? So we took all the blame from how good my kids are performing in school out, how are they scoring in exams out, and it was basically free choice learning. In these robotics competitions, we offered engineers a chance to come and volunteer. Hassan Jannah? Now this guy was one of our first volunteers. I was so happy to see him today. Engineers were coming to mentor kids. They can't do this at school. The system doesn't allow that. Parents were actually trying to help the teacher help their kids. And kids were now teachers and trainers and also students at the same time. It was such an amazing experience that started raising ambition of the participant. And I think research, by the way, shows that over-demanding parents that demand their kids to always do good at school kill their kids' ambition. That's research. Actually, parents are becoming demanding so much from the school system, they're not helping it. They're not helping their kids discover their true passion. And I'm very inspired by your story, Tiba, because in my opinion, the career contours you took shows that you've got great sense of discovering and seeking your passion, and you weren't trained to fit an industry requirement or just perform in a test, and your self-reflection, your success comes from the inside. And I think informal learning spaces offer companies who have CSR funds and have engineers and have social responsibility to help. It offers them a venue to add value to helping kids thrive without having to interfere with mainstream education necessarily. Now, a quick study case is Mishkat Interactive Center for Atomic and Renewable Energy, which is a project that we were proudly involved in from day one. And it was one of the important capacity building tools for King Abdullah City for atomic and renewable energy. They realized that we need to create an informal learning settings where kids freely challenge your mission in atomic and renewable energy, engage and learn, and this is how we could utilize such a venue to give a chance for kids to learn outside the classroom in what we call informal learning. We started, this is a picture of kids, in the space. We started first making it a platform. So any initiative in Saudi Arabia that we can tap into, we tap into and invite people to interact with the kids in our space. So for example, last year, it was the International Year of Flight. In that, we partnered with multiple organizations and allowed engineers to come, mentor kids in our space. It was using the kids' free time to be inspired about science and technology. We started going to schools and creating exciting moments in the outskirts of Riyadh, in what we call the underprivileged areas. And they're probably underprivileged financially as well, but what we're keen most about, they're underprivileged in the science capital. The chance for kids to have a good science inspiring conversation in a family settings is very low. We'd go there and we create an informal learning setting inside the school. No limit, you were not judged by your grade. You're just judged by how excited you are and brought forward to communicate. We created a program for after-school activities, so kids will continue learning after school hours and come spend some time with us. We created one of the most successful events we've done in the past couple of years was Noor. Noor was a public event for 10 days, received about 900 families per night, and it was a celebration of the International Year of Light. We started hosting innovation spaces. This was done with the Exploratorium in San Francisco. Only then we are tapping into the potential of the 53% of available time to help kids become ambitious, learn science and technology, and find ways to feel a little bit more confident rather than challenged and managed in sitting in the school. We allowed them to buy something, take it home in the shop, continue learning, because we realized that education is not going to solve your problem. Learning is a personal decision you have to take. You have to tap into what you like. And if you work with your kid to have lifelong learning skills, be a little bit curious, be a little bit courageous and confident, trust me, they will thrive even the most challenging education system. I want to make sure that I rather feel more empathetic and sympathetic for education system rather than criticizing. I think to me, a school that offers a safe place where your kids are getting venue to socially interact with peers and giving basic science and just the basics is sufficient. The rest lies in your hand and the community, and I think that's a fair expectation from schools, given the access to knowledge and the tools you can do with your kids in an informal settings. Thank you very much. We'll just see a quick video about Mishkat right now. Forget about that.